Slàinte, y'all. Hey, everyone. We are live for the first Scotch on the Bayou live show on Tuesdays. And the chat's already full, and I am so excited to be here. Little nervous, but we're all going to have fun tonight. Yeah, we're going to have fun. It's Mardi Gras. Today is the most fun day of the whole year. Just a Tuesday in most places, but in South Louisiana, it's Mardi Gras. And we're going to celebrate Mardi Gras. We're going to celebrate the channel. We're going to celebrate all the fun and friends that we have in this whiskey community. And I'm excited. So glad y'all are here. And just want to take a quick look and see who all the whiskey peeps are in tonight. We do have to give credit to Mr. Brad Murphy from Down Under. He was the first to be first, and Andrew from Scotch for Dummies is the second to be first. So thanks, guys. It means a whole lot. We've got my buds, Mark JG and Zach Andrews in, and John. Awesome. So glad you could join us. And yes, happy Mardi Gras, everyone. That Mark Rayner guy, that's my guy. That's my Mark, as I always say, my husband, Mark. Good to have you in there. And Jimmy Jazz, hello, friend. Thanks for coming in. And Michael, Sunday Evening Scotch, yay. All my peeps, so happy for y'all to come in. It's something. This is going to take a lot of getting used to. All of those that we follow between, the Scotch for Dummies or the Scotch Test Dummies, Roy and Aquavitae, they have this down pat. And I just feel like there's all these bells and whistles I'm going to have to figure out here. So thanks for the patience there, everyone. But yeah, it's so good to see everyone. Yay. And Malt Minion, hey Chuck, thanks for being here. I appreciate that. And Con, we got some Baton Rouge people. So yeah, it is Mardi Gras. I wanted to roll over this real quick. So yes, this is hubby at the camp. That's our pier down to the dock. But yeah, so happy Mardi Gras, everybody. So the channel is almost a year old, and we've had lots of things going on, of course. Those who are new to the channel tonight, you're going to get a really good idea about what the channel is about, who I am, why am I even here, why am I bothering, that type of thing. And we'll talk about what we're going to do on these night shows, on the lives, and then some of the things we have coming up. As you can see, I'm in my new studio. Most of my videos were done in the bar or at the camp. And so we have the purple, gold, and green lights going, rocking those for our Mardi Gras colors here in my office. And my work is over in this corner. And there's a reason I don't do many video calls for work, because all this is in the background and that'd be a little hard to explain. But anyway, we're excited about this. This is, I say we, it's me, but it's more than me, because I've had a whole lot of help, a whole lot of help between the encouragement of my friends, the encouragement of other YouTubers, particularly the Scotch for Dummy guys and Drew, and especially my family and my brother, who's responsible for all these fabulous graphics that you've seen. So we're excited about that. Yeah, and Brad, you are here. So here is a Slàinte, and I want to see what everybody's drinking tonight. So I got a little three special drams going for tonight. Oh, and hey, Brienne, she's here with her other half. That's great. And I see George. Yay. Cheers. Here, cheers to Artie and all you good folk up there in the frozen tundra. It's going to be 84 this weekend, y'all, down here. Andrew Butler, hey, good to see you. Sanjama. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. And Mike Highfield, hey, bud, for bringing in the Indiana crew. Awesome. Oh, okay. So Andrew from Scotch for Dummies. I'm thinking, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, Katie had something to do with this. Les a le bon temps roulé. Ask her how my pronunciation was if she thought that passed muster. But that is let the good times roll. Um, and they're rolling. They're still rolling on Bourbon Street right now. But pretty much about midnight it'll shut down, and then tomorrow's Ash Wednesday, and things will be much calmer. Oh goodness. Hey, Con. It was good seeing you this weekend. We had a bottle share with our Bourbon Society group, and I always bring Scotch, and I see how many converts that I can turn with all you bourbon folk come in here and they have a Scotch and they're like, "Oh wow, this is so good." I'm like, "Mm-hmm, yeah, come over to my dark side." And here's the man, Mr. Drew Bills. Thank you. A big woohoo to you too, friend. I'm hoping I'm not looking as pasty as I did on our dry run last week. I appreciate that. And speaking of dummies, oh my goodness. Yes, those Scotch test dummies are an awfully sweet bunch of guys. Contrary to what they may want to think, but Scott and Bart are the best. Now, no doubt this is Scott, and I appreciate the support, friend. I really do. Um, Goodness gracious. Well, what is everybody kind of drinking? I want to hear that, and I'm gonna reveal what I've got poured. Um, and the first thing that I will bring up is Mardi Gras. We have our colors for Mardi Gras are green, purple, green, and gold, and each one of them means something. And the green is faith. And I had a lot of faith going into this, and I had a lot of faith in my friends that they all show up, and I really do appreciate it. So, my first dram is a green bottle, and it is an SMWS. Let's see if we can get that 96.24, sweet, warm, and lively. 12-year-old. And this is 100% ex bourbon refill barrel. Now, what's really cool about this is from Glendronach and a bourbon barrel, not sherry, bourbon. So, this is a shout out dram to my buddy Aquavite, because he does love a bourbon matured Scotch. And so, yeah, tell me what y'all are all drinking. Mm, Goodness gracious. And I want to go back through some of these ah, quotes. Ah, Paul, Doc, the Whiskey Doc, and one of my fellow classmates at the Isla Whiskey Academy. Miss you, buddy. And he's getting to go back over there really soon. So I'm just a little bit jealous over that. Just go have fun for me and drink something really, really good. Okay. And Mary, hey, Mary, nice to see you. Thanks for being part of this. I appreciate you being here. You have to tell me what you're drinking. And where are you from? Tell me that too. Some folks I do know, like this guy, he's an Indiana guy too. Hey, highly toasting your first live with the 27-year-old Capradonic, the sample we got from you. Oh, yes, that was at the sample share that we did at the Scotch for Dummies 6th anniversary in November. And it was so good to be able to see people, see the dummies, of course, celebrate a big deal with them, and then find other folks that you've seen on their chat all this time. It was really good. So, okay, tell me how you like that Capradonic, because that Zach Andrews guy is the one that got me onto that for sure. Awesome. It's great seeing you here. Yay. Oh, good. Thanks, Drew. I appreciate you. I'm a little worried about the beads kind of clanking around here, but it's Mardi Gras. You got to have Mardi Gras beads, right? And so we'll get into that. Goodness gracious. All right. Looking good. Oh, Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie. Bayou Pigeon in the house. All right, Bonnie from the end of the world. Yes. We were going to talk about my chill place, my heaven on earth, also called Bayou Pigeon in the camp. So thank you for being here. Um, I'm half afraid of letting people know about it because it's so awesome. But folks have followed me that have seen the Camp Drams. They know about Bayou Pigeon, and they know about how that is just our happy place. So I'm so glad you're here, Bonnie, to share it with us. That's really great. And speaking of pigeon folk, this is the gold standard. Miss Grace across the street from Miss Grace is our neighbor at the camp, and just love her so much, so much. So anyway, well, let's get into, I'm like already woefully behind. Just to kind of tell you a little bit about the goal of the channel and of these shows. Um, so to kind of like run back and like, why am I even doing this, or why? Um, I we'll talk about our whiskey journeys on a later date, but everybody gets to whiskey some different way. Some are just, have been around it for a while, or they get interested, or someone introduces them to it. I just walked into a distillery on a solo trip to Scotland and wanted to know how it was made. I didn't really care about how it tasted. And by the end of the tour, I was totally enamored with the whole process. I was geeking over the chemistry and the way that things were put together, the overall process. And I got to the tasting, and that distillery happened to be Oban, and I tasted Scotch whiskey for the first time. My bar of recollection or comparison was probably really cheap bourbon and college, you know, experiences and stuff. That was not appealing to me. What I had in a dram at that distillery was life altering. And I know that sounds kind of heavy, but if I had not stopped to take that tour, if I had not stopped to say, how is this made? What do you mean you're getting orange and vanilla and, all these different tastes out of something, and honey? How do you get that out of malt, water, and yeast, and throwing it in a wood barrel for a while? How does that happen? And going through that, and then coming out to that tasting and having no expectations of liking it. The only thing I can remember is going, I know this is really high proof, and it was like 43 maybe, which was high proof certainly to a newbie. And I thought, "Oh my gosh, just don't cough and act like you don't know how to drink this." And I remember tasting it and going, "Wow." Just wow. And I I thought at that point, well, maybe I've finally found a drink I like, instead of making cocktails, instead of getting a screwdriver somewhere, because how can you mess up vodka and orange juice at a bar? These were the things that I thought, okay, this is what I want to know some more about this. And we'll talk about this later, but I ended up 2 days later at Lefroy, something completely different. Loved it. Absolutely loved the peat. And from there on, I was on my journey. And, you know, as I got to learn more, as I got to understand more about whiskey, it was very evident that sometimes people think this is pretentious, or that some folks should drink it and others probably shouldn't. That might be too strong for you, honey. I have heard that. Oh, bless your heart. Don't ever tell me that. Don't ever tell anybody that. Enjoyed responsibly. No, this liquid does not care what in the world, who in the world is drinking it. So, part of what I want to bring to this channel is to make this very approachable. It is not pretentious, and it isn't for the elite. It is to be enjoyed responsibly and to be appreciated. There was so much work that goes in to this liquid. And I think that needs to be celebrated. So that's part of what I want to do with this channel. And also, engage people in the community. Over these last, almost 6 years now, going 5.5 since I've been in my whiskey journey, I have gotten to know a lot of people. And some of the best people I've ever met. And some of you I've never met. We've just met like this, right? And when we can get together, then it's the lagniappe. It's the something extra. It's the even better part. And so I want this to be a platform to engage the community to where we can share and talk about whiskey or the process or how our journey has gotten us to different places in our lives and with different people in our lives. And I just think that's kind of a cool thing. And I think maybe folks would like to enjoy that and have this forum for that. Mm. So this SMWS, okay, sorry. I gotta whip out the glasses because there's no way I can read this without it. 57.9 ABV. So it's very sweet on the front end. Of course, the name is Sweet, Warm, and Lively. That's one of the best apropos titles because it's very sweet on the front and it has a kick of a spice in the back end and very light for almost 60%. But just, oh, so yum. Goodness. Well, I'm going to go back and look and see where I left off on some of theirs. Oh, Bourbon Battalion. Cheers, buddy. Check out his channel. I got to meet him at the Bastards Ball this past October, Bobby. So y'all go check out his channel for sure. And it looks like John's getting into the SMWS too. We need to let Scott know. Scott, I hope you're appreciating the fact that we got all the green bottles busting out up here. If y'all don't know, Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies is now part of the SMWS group. So hit him up if you have any questions about that membership, anything. Let him know. And then Leanne, yes, Jennifer. So another Isla Whiskey Academy classmate and my roomie and my partner in crime of all things Ardbeg is Jennifer. Thanks so much for being here, friend. That means the world. I really, really do appreciate it. I do. Goodness gracious. Oh, and Daniel. Hey, well, thank you. Yo, first stream. Congratulations. Got on the Bayou. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that very, very much. Cool. Good pronunciation. Thank you. Tell Katie I really appreciate that because that's about the only thing I can say in French that is allowable. All things, other things are probably cuss words, but we'll get there. Awesome. Oh, and Daniel, I see you sent a friend. Awesome. Hey, Peter, welcome and thanks for being here. Hope you like what you see. And for all the new folks and folks that haven't, go ahead and hit subscribe tonight if you would. We are just over 800 and I'm hoping to hit that 1,000 by 1 year in a month or so. So, and here's one of my main guys in the liquor business here in Baton Rouge, and that would be Clint. Hey, Clint, and thanks for being here, friend. I appreciate that. Clint's part of a grocery store group called Oak Point, and he and Nate are the two liquor managers there, and they do a heck of a job for not only carrying some really good scotches, but bourbons and barrel picks and things like that. We in Louisiana, you can sell liquor at grocery stores. I know that's a little different than some places. You could pretty much sell liquor anywhere here, which is another one reason we love the state. So I'll go in and let's see who else is in here. Yeah, so Paul's coming from Nova Scotia, from Canada. And Jimmy Jazz, I'm trying to remember. Aren't you New York? I think you are. I'm pretty sure. I know you're east somewhere there. All right. There's Michael. Nice to be here. Nice. Appreciate you being here. Awesome. He's also drinking some Glenlivet 14. That's good. It's good stuff. Oh, and Zach, my buddy, my boo. So you've got the ex-bourbon Glendronach too, huh? It's really amazing stuff. I mean, I've not had a bad SMWS bottle at all, at all. Goodness. Um, so I want to see. Okay. So Jennifer is having another SMWS 52.40 sweet, zesty sea air. Mmm. I bet that is good. I'm excited. So in a couple of weeks, still, I'm still editing, but in a couple of weeks, Jennifer and I did a video on some Ardbeg committee releases that are going to be the bomb. I cannot wait to share that with you. We had so much fun. Had a girls' weekend at the camp, and yeah, it's still it's still a lot of editing to do on that one. We had that much fun. Awesome. Um, but cool. So yeah, so getting in back to this, and part of it, the thing too I want to share with everyone is the name of the channel is Scotch on the Bayou. So I want to share the Bayou with you. I want to share Louisiana and the culture and just where we are and that type of thing. And again, you know, this doesn't have to be served at a highfalutin bar. This is drunk at the end of the dock looking at the Lower Grand River in South Louisiana, and it tastes just as good. So, that's what I wanna kinda bring to this also, and we'll have more consistent content. We had some fits and starts with the channel this year, mainly because we had a horrific flood that hit, our area last May, and, did some damage to our camp, so we had to spend months reworking that. So, um, that's kinda, all part of it. But yeah, so kinda getting back to the channel, for those who've been around and have seen, and I really do appreciate the support. The fact that I have over 800 subscribers right now is a little, crazy, and I do appreciate it. But what I wanted to do with the Camp Dram, so we have, I do reviews at the camp primarily when we're there just for the weekend to chill out, and, and they're not rated. They're basically whether or not I would buy the bottle again, and they're to be able to just kinda give you my thoughts on it, and I say my thoughts because everyone's palate is different. We all taste different things. Not all of us like the same food. Not all of us like the same soft drink, or some people like coffee, somebody like tea. There's so many differences. And when we hear, I mean, this is of course my opinion because it's my channel, I'm going to say it, but when we hear things like, well, that one's not very good, or this one could be better, it's all personal. And I think there's a level of that comes into the inferred pretentiousness of Scotch, and some whiskeys, I guess, over across the board. And if someone feels like they're not tasting what someone else is tasting, then they're wrong. And that's really not the case, I feel. Some people like broccoli, some people don't. Some people like eggplant. It just, some people like avocados. I can't stand them. Whatever. It's all in your personal preference. And I think what people are seeking are some kind of middle of the road, and just general thoughts on whether or not a whiskey is good for them to be able to go and interpret it for themselves as well. And so that's kind of what I'll try to do with campgrounds. I don't want it to be too over the top of, you know, some obscure tasting notes. But I do want people to kind of get a good idea about what I'm getting from it. And so that may help them decide whether or not they would like to try it. So anyway, so we'll be doing camp drams with that. Then we'll have parts about education, different ideas, and kind of getting into the geekdom, if you will, of Scotch whiskey and how it's made, that type of thing. And then we will also be talking about trips and distillery tours and things like that. I have banked information on the tours that we took within when we went to the Isle Whiskey Academy, things like that, just to be able to share more of that knowledge that I was able to get. And really try to bring more, again, like I said, the community into it. And with that community, there's going to be all kinds of different perspectives and guests. So the live show, we're going to have different guests on, and some of those people are going to be from the whiskey community. They're just going to be whiskey peeps. We're going to be whiskey buddies. Next week, Zach and Mark JG are going to be on, and we're going to talk about the whiskey journey itself. How you get into whiskey and then where that has led. So they're not always going to be industry people. I do have, industry contacts. We'll have those folks on, but there'll be people who, have some type of role within whiskey as well. And then I want to share too a lot about Louisiana and have some of those folks on as guests to kind of share that culture. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So let's see who else is in here. Oh my goodness. My man, my guy from Ohio. It's so good to see you, Jason. Thank you for being here, friend. I've been on Jason's show, and let me tell you, this dude knows his bourbon, but he knows his Scotch too. He definitely has a palate for it. And thanks for being here, friend. I really do appreciate it. Awesome, awesome. And it was really pretty cool because I'm seeing people that I saw at the Bastards Ball, seeing people I saw at the Scotch for Dummies event, and then people I've seen on various chats forever, and including this guy, another Louisianian, Trooper Henry, my friend, even in Louisiana. Leanne, sorry to be a little late. Oh, you back from Fouchon? So glad that you are back. So you're back on dry land. More than likely, he's been on a rig, and need to see you soon, friend. Goodness. So let's see who else we've got on here. Oh, I saw him. I'm gonna pop this one on here. This guy, my brother Ethan. He is so freaking talented. Let me tell you, awesome. Cool. So, oh, great. So Michael Scotch, Sunny Evening Scotch. Go follow him on Instagram if you are not doing so already. And he is about to have his first bottle pick. Hello. He's so fancy like that, Yes, so relatable. I had a similar experience when my then boss bought a round of Mac 18. Woo, that's a nice boss for the table at the dinner. And I was like, but it blew you away. Yeah, well, you went into it with an open mind, and look at what happened after that. Awesome. Goodness gracious. Oh, and this is a sight for sore eyes. Andy, how are you? And sipping an old Pulteney on my recommendation. I'm not going to steer you wrong. The brine is awesome. So good to see you, Andy. Take care. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I'm going to get all teared up. Y'all are so sweet. I appreciate you being here for sure, for sure. So I'm going to start on my second dram here. So that was green. And now we're going for the gold. And I picked this gold for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm drinking it with my Scotch for Dummies 6th anniversary glass. And it has been covered by the Maestro coin. And it will, come on. Yeah, there we go. The Maestro. And the Maestro himself, which I named, thank you very much, would be one Drew Bills from the Scotch for Dummies. And this gold dram, keeping with our purple, gold, and green theme for Mardi Gras, would be the Glendronach Parliament. So now we're going into the sherry world because Drew loves his sherry, and I know he loves this bottle. So shout out to my bud, Drew, for all the stuff that he has done to help me with this. And it's all his fault that I have a YouTube channel. Or it's all his admiration that I do. I will take that part, not the fault. But Slàinte, my friend, thank you for all the help. This is a 2019 bottling, so it's going to be older than those 21 years for sure. Goodness gracious. Man, that's good. Mm, 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 mm. So Michael is having 3 Lafroigs. He's got the 10, the quarter cask, and the select. That quarter cask out of those 3, those are probably my favorite. I really, really, really like that. That's a tasty one. Goodness gracious. Um, just taking a look at more comments. Awesome. I'm behind, I can tell on that. So, Trooper, we have to do something. He hasn't had any scotch since last Sunday's parade. Parade. Mardi Gras. Okay. So Mardi Gras is today, but Mardi Gras is a season and it starts at the Epiphany, 12 days after Christmas. So it's King's Night or the Epiphany, and from then it's carnival season. So we've been having a really good time since January, the first week in January, and it all ends pretty much tonight. So pour yourself a dram, friend, as soon as you get there. I really so 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 what is the SMWS flavor profile on this one? This is on this Glendronach one. It's the gold. It's the light gold one. Scott, what is that? I have a little cheat sheet John McShane gave me, but I don't have it on me right now. Goodness. So I love all the chat, y'all. It's like talk amongst yourselves. Okay, and then I have one more person I have to shout out. Den. Hi from Covington by way of Chicago. Glenmorangie 12. Very nice. Den. I'm so glad to see you. Give Jane my love. And we'll be drinking some dram soon, friend. Oh goodness. So yeah, so we got the Glendronach Parliament. And you know, in starting the channel, I started a blog first after I met the Scotch for Dummies down in their basement. There's the blog is scotchonthebayou.com, and there's an article about how I ended up in the basement. Got on a plane, flew to Indiana, met 4 guys I've never met in my life in the basement of a suburban Indianapolis home, and did a live show and lived to tell about it and see where that got me, you know. So you never know where your journey is going to take you. You just got to be brave enough to step off that first step. This is so good. It's very spicy. It's the Oloroso and the Pedro Jimenez um, PX, and it's definitely got some spice on the front end. You know, it's super sweet. But you kind of the Oloroso kind of tames the PX, I think. Mm, goodness, that's really tasty. You know, so but yeah, so starting, you know, from the basement, I launched my Instagram account that night. And a couple months later, I started the blog Scotch on the Bayou, and it's just the more I started learning, the more I wanted to tell people. It was almost, you know, I mean, Roy has it. It's the evangelist, you know, growing up in the Bible Belt of the South. We know how to evangelize down here. You have good news, you want to spread it. And so doing that, I got excited. When you're excited about anything, you want to spread it, you know, and tell other people about it, right? And I have found the whiskey community very open for my voice, you know, and I know that's not always there. Um, and and I do appreciate that. All of the channels that I've been a part of have been very welcoming to me, been very open to me, and had a forum for me to be able to talk. And so I do want to have that for other folks. And I do think it's important to have a forum, especially for women in that and people of color, because they don't always seen, you know, as someone who would drink Scotch whiskey or whiskey in general. And there are still times, you know, I had encountered an individual that asked me if I was buying Scotch for my husband. And then another bless your heart moment, you know, you just bless and you release, you just let it go. But women taste things differently, I think sometimes. I think we smell things differently, just as any other person would. I don't know if it's just particularly because of women, but I think we're exposed to a lot of different things, so we can pick up on some of those. Um, and I, I, there have been times that we've been relegated to the schnapps and rosé aisles of a liquor store, and I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a bottle of whiskey for Mother's Day. I'm just saying, it's not just for Father's Day. Um, but I really felt like I had more I wanted to say, more I wanted to share. So that's when we started the channel last April. So we're coming up on 1 year for the videos that for YouTube, and with that, I wanted to add the next layer and to do the live show. And it's important for folks to feel like they have a seat at the table, and the table to be able to talk about, whiskey, or just to be able to be in a group where they feel like they can express themselves about the whiskey or what they know, and feel comfortable and safe in having that seat at the table. And if you find yourself at a table where you don't feel that way, you're at the wrong table. Just get up and go find another table. Come to this table. That's great. And we'll sit and we'll chat, and we maybe cuss and discuss about stuff, and that's okay. That's how we do things in the South, and then we hug it out, and it's all good. But not everybody's going to agree, and that's cool. I'm good with that. Everybody's got an opinion. Um, but we want this to be a place where we can chat, learn some stuff, and learn from each other for sure. So let's go back. Want to see. Oh, Michael just poured an independent bottler IB Craigellachie from Five Lions. I haven't heard of that one. First fill bourbon, 10 years, 55.9. Oof, that's warm, warm. But bet it's good. Oh, Paul, you're killing me. You're killing me, man. Is that from the same? Is that the one that you got? Oh, a jigger of Brookline Blanche 47. Did you get that at the distillery when we were there for Iowa Whiskey Academy? Ugh, that distillery, y'all, is so freaking cool. It's like a mousetrap. It's Victorian. It's absolutely ancient. Um, it's like there should be a pack of gerbils that are on a wheel that make everything move with all the belts and pulleys and wheels that are in that place. It's just amazing. And they make the most progressive stuff. It's just crazy that if you ever get a chance to go there, go. And thankfully they're going to have face shields this year. That's awesome. Goodness. Um, Scotch and spice, you absolutely right. I don't know. I'm guessing you're talking about being at the table, so we'll do that. But I may take a screenshot of this that says that I'm right. So just saying. So Clay Coleman, he's our next door neighbor at the camp. I'm so glad you figured out how it works, Clay. So this guy takes incredible pictures and he documents the fabulous. I will get him on camera, behind the camera, at some point in our series for sure, because his talent for capturing the wildlife and at the camp is just amazing, truly amazing. It really, really is. Goodness. Okay, Paul M. Hey, Paul, nice to meet you, and thanks for being here. And cheers. So I really appreciate you being here. I do. Goodness. Just looking. So I'm about ready to start my third dram. We got 20 minutes to go. This is like gone. And so yeah, get back up here. Okay. So now I'm going to move to the purple. So green is faith, gold is power, and purple is justice. And our purple bottle tonight was one of the first bottles I bought that I thought, OMG, I can't believe I am spending this much money on a bottle. And truth be told, I got it for a hell of a deal, um, compared to probably what it is nowadays. This you can tell it's at its end. But our purple bottle is Springbank 18. I don't think it likes that silver label. There we go. Campbelltown. Oh my gosh, I am such a Campbelltown fan girl. I cannot even tell you. Um, it's just the funk in that Springbank is just it's not it's not as funky as the swamp can be. And we call that the Rufus when you kind of get the swamp gas smell. But but yeah, there's just something different in Campbelltown expressions. And this bottle has been I've had this bottle for a long time, probably longer than it should have still been around. But dang, if that doesn't still taste good. Um, and so that kind of brings us to the Bayou part of Scotch on the Bayou. And we've done different reviews down at the camp. And the camp is let me explain what camp is. So the camp is like a cabin. It's like a weekend getaway place, and it's located in Iberville Parish. We have parishes in Louisiana, not counties. And it's in Iberville Parish, which is west of Baton Rouge on the other side of the Mississippi River. And between the Mississippi River and the Atchafalaya Basin or the Atchafalaya River, there's a swath of different villages that go all the way out to where Trooper is, down to Homa Thibodeau and to the Gulf. And the Atchafalaya River can come from the Gulf into the basin and the waterway. That was like the super highway back in the 1800s and the turn of the century. Everybody just ran on the river. You ran up and down the Mississippi River. You ran up and down the Atchafalaya Basin. And there was a huge amount of timber pulled from the basin during that time. And it's just amazing how people live on the land, and in that area. And Bayou Pigeon is where our camp is. And as you saw before, there's a term, the end of the world. The highway literally ends about half a mile from our place, and it's the end of the world. And our place sits on the lower Grand River, and it's fishermen, are there, the commercial fishermen that you like catfish, those folks caught your catfish. You want to eat crawfish, those folks went out and fished and got your crawfish. That I know Sean from Scotch for Dummies, he has shipped up for his restaurants, crawfish that probably came from the basin down, from where our camp is. And it just kind of like blows your mind. But these are the people, the salt of the earth people in Bayou Pigeon that, provide so much of Louisiana's bounty to everyone who enjoys crawfish and fish. And my blood pressure goes down. It's like I make this one turn off Highway 75, and it's just like I'm about to get to the camp. And it's where time slows down. It's where I can check out of my work brain and come into a calmness and enjoy this with Mark and our 3 dogs. We have 3 Catahoulas, which is the Louisiana state dog. And you might have you probably saw them in the intro. And that's our place where we just sit and relax and have our drams. And so that's where Camp Drams came from. It was a smattering of bottles that I had at the camp for us to enjoy. And I thought, well, that's kind of a cool way to say we're just going to go have a camp dram. It's not pretentious. It's not puffed up. We're just going to enjoy that. It's not fussy. And we really enjoyed it. We got the channel going, and then we had the flood. And it's not just any flood. We had, yeah, and again, and I want to make sure everyone understands, this is a weekend home. I'm in my house in Baton Rouge were high and dry. There were so many people that got hit and lost so much, if not everything, down there during that flood in May. And the community bolstered itself up. The community helped itself get out of those situations. But we had to rip everything out of the camp and rebuild it. And I've got a video coming out with a Camp Dram, and we're going to do a tour of the remodeled um, uh, camp, and I'm really excited about that. It's nice. It's even better than it was. We made it better than it was. But there was 3 feet around a feet of water or more actually around the camp. About 3 inches got in the camp, but it was enough to really mess everything up. So that's one of those things. You live and die by the river. We understand that, but I want to bring more of the life of Louisiana. We talk about Scotch on the Bayou. We explore the wonders of Scotch whiskey and the flavor of life in Louisiana. And the flavor is not just Cajun seasoning. The flavor is the people. And that's what I want to help bring that. There's so much um, commonality between, especially the Cajuns and Scottish culture. We have a feidodo, a dance called a feidodo. It's a community dance. That's like a Kaylee. The same 80-year-old woman is going to pull you out on the dance floor and dance you into the floor. It's that kind of community, and just the revelness around that is so important. But Louisiana has what I call this joie de vivre, this joy of life. It's in our culture. It's in our food. Our music is like no other. The music on my videos, very much Louisiana. What you hear here is what we call a chank-a-chank. It's a kind of a Zydeco vibe going on. But it's a way of life. Again, it's not only the crawfisherman or someone who's providing catfish for a restaurant. It's also the alligators, and the fact that they're so prevalent, and now that they must be harvested, and how that works, and just the beauty of it. No matter what season it is, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the waterfowl is like crazy. We have Rosetta spoonbills, American eagles right now. The pelicans are here right now. And it's just a wonder. It's like a show every weekend that we go down there. So we really do. We really do, Joe. I wish everybody could come to the camp. I really do. So I'm hoping things are working out. Looks like I might have some fits and starts here. Yeah, next week's is going to be fun. When you get your buddies together over some drams, mayhem may ensue for sure. Good deal. So let's see. George is going to have a bit of a sample. Oh wow, that Ben Nevis 4-year-old. I'd like to hear about that. If it tastes as young as it is, that's interesting. Very cool. Awesome looking. Oh yeah. So Peter's talking about hopefully they don't chill filter the 22 Glendro. I don't know that they're doing that. I know there's all the discussion around the 12 for sure, but I'm not really sure about that. Whiskey Eyes. Hey, nice to see you. And yes, happy Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras. It's been fun, that's for sure. And I see 86. Good to see you here, friend. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you checking in. What in the world are you doing drinking Guinness? Well, it's not quite it's not quite St. Patrick's Day yet, Drew. Well, you have to tell me what dram you're gonna have after that for sure. Goodness. Oh my goodness. Just checking in. Lee, can you speak about your whiskey club? Yeah. So so we're definitely going to be talking more about whiskey clubs. So first, I'm part of the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge, rather, Be Sober, as we call it, laughingly. And this is an incredible group, headed by some spectacular people, between David, the president, vice president, Dorothy, and all the folks that work their tail off. We're actually third time's a charm to be able to have the Louisiana Bourbon Festival this fall, but it's not just a drinking group. That's something I want to make sure people. It is a bourbon group, but it's a community group because they raise a ton of money for charities around the area. And particularly our Christmas, we have a raffle, a bottle raffle, where people stores donate raffle bottles to raffle. And you buy raffle tickets for it, but you get the bottle. You don't get to buy the bottle, you just get the bottle. And last year, this past December, we raised over $68,000 for Toys for Tots. And that was just one of the charities that we did something for. There were other charities that raised tens of thousands of dollars. There are over 700 in our whiskey club in the Bourbon Society. And, and again, that to me is synonymous of the whiskey community as a whole. When you see the generosity, what do you want to do? You've got a bottle, you want to share it, you're giving out samples. Jim had samples, George is having a sample. You're getting that from somebody because they want to share. And I think that's indicative of overall of the whiskey community and why I really like being part of it, And then I have another subgroup of guys. I think there's 7 of us, and we just have Scotch nights, and we pool our money together to buy a spectacular bottle. It's not every day you can just say, "Oh, I'm going to go buy a Talisker 25." That's $500 to $700. I just can't justify that, but I can go in with 6 other people, and I can justify that, and I can be part of a group of folks that understand it and really enjoy it and appreciate it. And I got to have part of that. And those guys, were nice enough to invite me to the party and be able to talk about it and enjoy it. And again, it not being fussy or anything like that. So we definitely want to talk more about whiskey clubs because they come in all different shapes and sizes. And Jennifer on here, she started her own whiskey club in Houston, with people who were very new to whiskey and didn't even really know anything about it. And that's been a huge success there. So, but yeah, that's a good folks. Okay, so Paul, so Paul is a doctor. I want y'all to know he is the whiskey doc, but Paul specializes in presenting about olfactory senses. So it is scientific. So we do women do have a jump on men in the olfactory sense. Fabulous. He's actually going to be presenting at the Highland Whiskey Academy over in Scotland next month. You dog, this month, I guess, huh? I'm so jealous. But yeah, the doctor said it, so there it is. Cool. Oh, so Brad, so I mean, I'm seeing people here from across the pond, down in Scotland. Goodness gracious. So yes, Dr. Scotch. Andrew, there's another real cool dude calling himself Dr. Scotch. Yeah, I did see that, but I am partial to that one in the white coat for sure. But Andrew, you and Paul should talk because y'all would like geek out over the science for all kinds of days. Hey, Mr. Whiskey Shits. Nice to meet you, friend. Cheers to you too. Awesome. That is not Springbank Funk. That is the Rufus. Yeah, the Rufus, my buddy Dudley. So, y'all will meet Rufus. Rufus is the mounted deer that's on the porch of our camp that was found by our neighbors in the river. Somebody got her mat on and threw her hubby's deer head out in the water, and it was rescued, and now it's on our front porch. But yeah, so Rufus was his name because swamp gas is called Rufus, so we named the deer head that. Pretty funny. Um, okay. Oh, okay. So we have a birthday? Whiskey Eyes. Happy birthday. Slàinte Ma. Mm, happy birthday. I'm getting a toast with Spring Being 18. That's a hell of a present. I'll have one for myself. Mm. So yeah, it's Mardi Gras. So and just kind of talking about that, how many of y'all have been to Mardi Gras? You know, it is a thing. We have so we have some traditional things. So we have the beads. You know, I'm really hope these haven't made a whole lot of noise tonight. You know, and we have, I don't know if you can see back behind me right here. This is my little stuffed hairy coo named Hamish. He has a mask on. So we have the Mardi Gras mask, right? Everybody's familiar with that. And then we have the king cake. So this is the remnants of a king cake. And traditionally, they have purple, gold, and green icing on them. But this one is like really, really good. I'll say from Oak Point. It is a pecan praline king cake. And inside, you have the baby. And whoever gets the baby has to buy the next king cake. Except we can't really put them in there anymore because some people don't know that it's in there and it can be a choking hazard. But the three colors also symbolize the three kings looking for the Christ child. So that's part of our tradition too. We, of course, you know, you have the floats and the parades and all of that fun stuff. And I will just say this, you know, I mean, um, this is a voodoo doll, probably made in China, but a voodoo doll. And voodoo is very much a religion, and is to be taken seriously for those who do practice down here. But we're in a free democracy here, and I'm able to be on a YouTube channel, and I can talk about Scotch, and nobody is telling me what to do. And there are people in this world that are being infiltrated, and they are being invaded. And today, this is about as political as I'm going to get, folks. But today, this guy is Putin. And that's what I think about you going into the Ukraine. So, sending all the good juju from the Bayou that I can to the people of Ukraine for the interlopers to exit rapidly. And please keep them in your prayers. But yeah, so, you know, they were able to roll floats this time in New Orleans for the first time in 2 years. And with that, the previous years they had done uh, house decorations or house floats. So, but yeah, New Orleans, all that's coming to an end, and tonight, and we'll have Ash Wednesday tomorrow, and that'll be the beginning of Lent, and everybody will be eating crawfish. I can promise you. Oh, big shout out to this lady here, Shayla from Whiskey Central. Please check out her channel. She is a doll, and she is a student of the whiskey. She is so much into understanding the processes, and I think she's going to end up going to the Whiskey Academy in Iowa too, eventually, and I'm super stoked for her on that. And then Ray Bailey, awesome, great, wait to see you here. Thanks so much for being here, and I understand you've come down south, and looking forward to meeting you, hun. Goodness. So, but yeah, we're closing in out, and I'm trying to catch up on some things. Scotch on the Bayou, love the history, the story, and the visuals of the camp. You know, thanks, Brad. I appreciate that because I wasn't real sure how people were there was like, are you gonna do Scotch or are you gonna do Louisiana? And my, you know, one of the best phrases I've learned doing this is that your vibe attracts your tribe. And I want my vibe to be chill, and I want everybody else to be chill, you know? There aren't gonna be too many antics on this show. I will throw a couple of Julia Sugarbaker phrases in there from time to time, but for the most part, we're here to be chill and just really enjoy things. So I appreciate that, and I really do want the feedback. Please let me know, especially tonight after this first one. We'll get into like real content. This was really just for us to go and chat and enjoy and kind of lay the land about what we're going to be doing. And I really, really do appreciate y'all all being here. Yes, that's why I love this community. It makes our local and global communities a better place to be. It really does. The fact that we can be on this forum and we can have people so far around this world, for old folk like me, that's really it's amazing that we can do that. And I just really appreciate everybody being here for sure. Um, Lots of old faces, some new faces. I'm just really, really appreciate it. Um, hey, Whiskey Nose, thanks for being here. Super excited that you're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And ah, Ken, let me go up here. Yeah, another another wonderful cohort. Check out his channel, Ken from Scotch Down Under. Super guy and has been a big help to me as well. Really do. Yeah. So I think we're about getting there, folks. I could probably do this all night, but we don't really want to, do we? I wish everybody could have a good king cake today. I wish everybody could have gone to parade and got some really fancy beads without doing anything lewd. I really want you to know how much I do appreciate you being here. And whose birthday? Oh, yes, another birthday for Whiskey Eyes. No, you can never say happy birthday enough times. Absolutely. Oh goodness. But anyway, so we're gonna get there. And then this guy, you're late, but that's okay because you're here. Gregor, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, thank you much, friend, for being here. And yes, tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. And so that is another thing that I mean, practicing Catholics will go and they'll have their ashes on, and you have to just not look at their foreheads, or it's no big deal that they have that on there. It's a testament to their faith, and um, it's a big deal down here for sure. But first show's absolute success. Thank you for saying that. Growth is coming. I hope so. I want folks to have fun, and I'm really looking forward to having some guests on here, so you're not hearing me the whole entire time, because I can work up a good conversation with myself. It's a little chore, but we'll get there. But seriously, y'all. Thanks again so much for being here and being part of this first show. It's been a whirlwind. And again, I want to do another big shout out to Drew from Scotch for Dummies, to my husband Mark for his pom pom shaking, non-ending support. Zach and Mark JG for always having my back and having faith in my brother Ethan for giving me encouragement and providing cool, super talented. He did this painting back here, the Slàinte, y'all. I can't point to the right direction. He's just amazing, and he constantly is in helping. And I'm so excited for y'all to see what he's going to be coming up with next. But truly, I want to say, Slàinte, y'all, have a wonderful night. Thank you ever so much for being part of this, and I'll see you next weekend. Slàinte, y'all.